Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Monday Morning. It's Stephen Whiteside here from the Uptrend.com. In the pre-market this morning, so far things are mixed. We've got Dow futures higher while the Nasdaq is trading lower in the pre-market. Now, we don't have any economic numbers coming out this morning. On Tuesday, we've got retail sales. On Thursday, we've got initial jobless claims. And right in the middle, the world is going to be focused on the Fed. The party starts at 2, the bar opens at 2:30, and that's when volatility starts to expand once the press conference gets started. The world is looking for a 25-point rate cut. If it gets a 50-point or higher, that would certainly spook the market, with the Fed indicating that the economy is slowing faster than they want it to. So we'll just have to wait and see. Now, coming into the Fed meeting, the bonds are all happy. We've got the TLT, the XBB, emerging markets, junk bonds all moving up last week. And of course, with bonds moving higher, you've got bond yields moving lower. And that trend still continues. And you can see that the bond market is not spooked going into this Fed meeting. Now, looking at commodities, we had big movements last week in the metals. Copper is back on a buy signal, gold making new highs, and we had a huge rush into palladium and platinum last week, and silver joined the party. Silver took out the August high and looking for a move up to the July high. Unlike gold, silver is not putting in new all-time highs at the moment. Now, we saw the energy sector move up last week. We've got crude oil and gasoline both trading in the channel, so possible buy signals on Monday. Natural gas is still on a buy signal, looking to see if we can take out the high from August. Now, looking at the VIX and the major indices, the VIX isn't really trending lower at the moment. It is certainly on a sell signal. That would change on Monday with a close above 2024. There's the S&P 500 coming back last week, moving back up to resistance at 562.50. If we can take out the recent highs, and of course, if we do that, that'll be all-time highs for the S&P 500. 570.31 is our next target to the upside. The pros did not give up control over the recent pullback, unlike the NASDAQ. Again, the NASDAQ VIX isn't really trending lower at the moment. It is on a sell signal. That would change on Monday with a close above 24.13. There's the Qs back on a buy signal, heading towards 484.38. And that would be the high from August. Now, the pros haven't come back to take control of the NASDAQ just yet, and we're still waiting for the semiconductors to perk up. We'll look at that in a minute. Now, we've got something for everyone. We recently put in a lower high, and that's good for the bears, and now it looks like we've put in a higher low. That's good for the bulls, and now we're waiting for a breakout of this nice triangle that's formed. And it certainly doesn't look like we're heading in that direction on Monday morning. Now, there's the VIX for the Russell 2000. Again, we're not really trending lower at the moment. We are on a sell signal. That would change on Monday with a close above 27.28. We've got the Russell 2000. We've got small caps and micro caps all back on buy signals as of Friday. Looking at the Canadian market, there's the iShares Canada ETF trading in New York, making a new high on Friday. Hitting our 40.63 target on Friday. Then there's the Vanguard Canada ETF traded in Toronto, making a new high, trying to hit 48.44. We got as high as 48.35 on Friday. You can see if we take that out, then it opens up to the $50 level. Then looking at the iShares for the TSX 60, 35.94 was our target. We got as high as 35.91 on Friday. So we may actually hit those targets on Monday. Now, looking at a couple of other ETFs this morning, we've got semiconductors back on a buy signal. As of Thursday's close, not a lot of momentum on Friday. Similar situation for the Magnificent 7 ETF. Still waiting for financials to come back in the U.S. We still have banks, regional banks, and the broker-dealers still on a sell signal, no change there. And insurance is back on a buy signal as of Friday's close. Looking at the Canadian financials, they made a new high on Friday, so things still looking pretty good for Canadian financials. What's not working right now, the energy sector is still on a sell signal, but we see that crude oil and gasoline are moving up this week. Natural gas is still on a buy signal. And there's the gold sector making new highs on both sides of the border on Friday. Let's move on and take a look at the most actively traded Canadian stocks from Friday's trading action. Starting off with Canadian Natural Resources, new closing low for that stock on Friday. We saw Suncor actually close up on the day, 22 cents. No change in trend there. Certainly no change in trend for Cenovus. Big pop for B2 Gold on Thursday and Friday. Then we had Calibre Mining making a nice move up on Friday, up over 7%. There's a new closing high for Enbridge on Friday, and we're trying to get to 56.25. Then looking at Manulife tickling our next target at 38.28. We got as high as 38.26 on Friday. Then looking at Tourmaline, we had fairly quiet trading on Friday, still on a sell signal. That would change on Monday with a close above $60.41. There's a new high for TELUS. We were trying to get to 23.44, got as high as 23.43 before pulling back. And so that looks like a bearish reversal day for TELUS. Then looking at Pembina, new high there. We're trying to get to 56.25, got as high as 56.30 on Friday. So if you had an order in up there, that got filled. Congratulations. Great-West Life is trying to break away from 45.31. If we could do that, then 46.88 comes into play. And last up this morning, CIBC making a new high on Friday. Trying to get to 84.38, so that is certainly possible on Monday. Let's finish off looking at the U.S. most actives from Friday's trading action. Third day of a buy signal for NVIDIA. NVIDIA having an inside day on Friday. We still got Tesla on a buy signal right now, still trying to break out above 234.38. Then looking at NEO still on a buy signal, no change in trend there. Second day of a big up day for Warner Brothers Discovery. Nice big move up. We're trying to get to 8.59 is our next target, and we closed just above the high from back in August. That's looking pretty bullish. Then Palantir making a new high on Friday, trying to get to 37.50. No joy yet for Intel. A lot of people watching Intel at the 1875 level here, seeing if we can find some support. I'm not a big fan of this stock. It's the big loser in the semiconductor sector, but at some point there may be a time when the market wants to come back and love it. On Monday, we're looking for a close above 1997. That would certainly be a low-risk opportunity. I'm not sure about the reward, but certainly a low-risk opportunity for Intel. Ambev, no change there. Then we've got Broadcom moving up on Friday, and our next target is 168.75. We almost got there on Friday, got as high as 168.08. Then looking at Ford, we need to close above $10.83 on Monday to give us a buy signal. Inside day for Wells Fargo on Friday. B2 Gold popping just like it did on Toronto, breaking out above the July high. Then we've got Hewlett-Packard coming back, still on a sell signal, no change there. We've got SoFi back on a buy signal as of Friday's close. No change for American Airlines, but we certainly tickled the lower channel line for the past 3 days, so a close below $10.55 would give us a sell signal on Monday. We closed at 10.69 on Friday. And then we've got Bank of America still on a sell signal, no change there. Things would change on Monday for Bank of America if we closed above $39.88. Okay, folks, that is all for this morning's presentation. So far, I've got the Dow futures up 75, while the NASDAQ futures are down 75. So that is certainly a mixed picture, and it probably tells me that the semiconductors aren't going to come back and save the day on Monday. Have a great day, folks. Next time you'll hear my voice is on Tuesday morning.